The rut tester is back, baby. What's up, my dudes? So we got a pretty big terrain deformation update for MX versus ATV All Out, and I wanted to come in here and take a look at it. I always get distracted right here. Sorry, boys. So I wanted to check this out on an arena cross track and a motocross track, kind of get a full-blown look at it on completely different tracks like that, but yeah, basically when the game first came out, it had this base terrain deformation system to it. Then they came out with one update for it, and it pretty much just made it a little bit more noticeable, a little bit more hardcore. You could really tell in the ruts and the corners and stuff like that a little bit more, and on the jump faces, and it just made it a little bit better overall. And then with this right here, this is the second terrain deformation update in total, if I'm not mistaken, for the game. So what they said on their Instagram page was it was going to be more like actually being able to make, you know, braking bumps and acceleration bumps and stuff like that, which was like a totally missing aspect to their terrain deformation system. Like when the game first came out, there was none of that. Like you could ride on a motocross track with terrain deformation on, right? And there was no braking bumps whatsoever, like none. It was like you're just riding on glass, super flat paper track, especially since the fact that they don't have any pre-made roughness on any of their motocross tracks just makes it that much more extreme when your terrain deformation isn't making any braking bumps and stuff. It's not that big of a deal on a supercross track or even an arena cross track, but the motocross tracks, holy god, dude, the motocross tracks is where it's like, come on, man, you gotta have braking bumps on a motocross track, man. It just doesn't even feel right if you don't have braking bumps. So really interested to see what it does on the motocross track here with this new terrain deformation update. So it's going to be kind of hard to compare like on one of these arena cross tracks because it's obviously a track that I couldn't ride on before this update, so I can't really say like what it's doing like super differently, but we'll try to run a couple laps and see what all's going down with it, dude. Okay, jump up over this. Yep. At my first little glance right here, it seems like it might not be quite as extreme as it was before, right? They might have felt like they went just a little bit overboard with the terrain deformation with the update before to it. Like they might have felt like it, you know, was making the ruts way too quickly on it. That is a potential possibility, but obviously with an arena cross track, you're going to be rutting it up more anyways because it's about half the lap time of a normal supercross track. So, okay, let's just take me a couple laps, see what it's actually doing. I did notice, seems like it's making quite a bit more of a difference over the faces of the jumps. It's one thing I'm noticing right away. Like, let me try to kind of show you. See, like right there on that, it's like making kind of more kickers, and it's like totally changing the face of the jump. And that seems like it's doing that more extreme than it was beforehand, so that's kind of cool. It just seems a little bit more rounded to me. That's kind of something I'm noticing. Doesn't seem too crazy, doesn't seem too light. Just kind of seems pretty well rounded so far. Seems like it's just making, it's not so like weird looking, you know, it doesn't look like you're like painting on like black ruts on the track or anything like that. Kind of just looks like it just fits in with the track here. So that's cool to see that. Okay, we'll really be getting the tall tale signs here once we get like, you know, lap 10, something like that. Okay. But yeah, that's interesting. It kind of made that kicker on that first triple in, so now I'm able to hit the triple in without even seat bouncing at all. So that's interesting. Now this triple in, if you hit it where you normally hit it, like kind of to the middle to the inside of the jump face, it's like totally worn down where you can't hardly hit it at all. So that's kind of cool how that happened. Okay, so I'm here on the actual Vegas track, man. I'm 4 laps in, right? This one's obviously rutting way quicker than that other one did and way better, giving me more of a feel of what's going on. So, ooh, yeah, it's chewing up the actual faces of the jumps and stuff a lot more different than it would back in the day. You can see a little bit of that braking bump vibe coming out right there. And right there, you can kind of see it just a little bit already on lap 5, so that's really cool to see that. Try to hit this up the inside, see if I can kind of rail up that. Look at, like, it kind of looks like somebody's, you know, spinning some shitties on the track or something. It's kind of what it looks like with some of their braking bumps. But nevertheless, man, I can't complain. It is like attempting to be roughness and stuff like that. Ooh, missed my seat bounce there. Okay, a little bit of a braking bump going into that corner. Right. Okay, super kickered out face to that. Dude, did you see my guy's head? It was like, it literally like a bobblehead, bro. Oh my god. So yeah, it's like, it's almost like it's just like digging down, like, it's weird. I can't even really figure out how it's actually making the braking bump. It's kind of bizarre how it's even doing it here. Let's see. So, try to kind of come around, get back around to this one section up here. Yeah, making some super kickers on that for sure, which is really cool. Yeah, it's made like a kicker kind of funnel line going up that finish line jump. But right here in particular, see these little bumps? This is basically the braking bumps that it makes. It's almost like it's like it makes little pockets on the track where it's like it just doesn't erode as much. Or I say erode, like an MX simulator. It's like it's making little pockets where it won't actually, you know, deform it as much as the rest of the track. It's almost like there's these little pre-made little sectors where it doesn't actually deform it as much. I could be completely like overcomplicating that. I don't know, but could be a lot more simple the way that it's actually made there. I'm not exactly sure, but you can see how rough that just the faces of the jumps. It feels like somebody has literally spun donuts like on the faces and just like on the straightaways and stuff. Oh my god, dude. Look at how much farther I can jump with just that simple kicker on that little dragon's back section. Yeah, it totally changes. Some of the jump faces make it like twice as easy to jump over that next jump or whatever, and some of the other faces, it like totally smooths them out, like that right there. So it kind of has this bit of a balancing effect to it where some of the jump faces, it'll make kickers. Some of them, it just kind of smooths them out, just kind of lowers them down a little bit. But look at how easy, look at how far I'm over jumping that final triple right there now. So, wow. Okay, yeah, it's definitely making quite the... Dude, I'm jumping over all those braking bumps just off of that one jump right there, man. Yeah, you can use the kickers to your advantage for sure, but yeah, these are way more kickers than it was making previously, without a doubt. Now, as far as the way, you know, the actual rut... Ooh, coming up short. Gotta need a goddamn lawyer, bro. As far as, like... Oh, and see, then you got to like time that out, because the jump before that you used to not have to seat bounce, it's almost like that kicker makes you jump too far, you know, to get your, it like totally kind of jacks up your rhythm on some of these certain sections here. So it's interesting how it does that. I like it though. Like I like the kind of feeling it's given to me right off the bat. That is cool to see that. Now, as far as like actually making little small individual ruts in the corner, yeah, it's about fairly the same as it was like on the previous update, just kind of making that where it's a little bit more smoothed off on the inside. And then, fuck, was that Axel Hodges? I think it was. You know, it's just making a little bit more of a berm than a real rut, right? Not like multiple ruts or anything. Yeah, it was. Wow. That's cool how they put all those little like random, not necessarily like super professional riders in the game. They got Tyler Wozni and bunch of other dudes in there, so that was interesting to see that. Whoops are getting chewed. Yeah, basically makes the tracks, you know, fairly similar in the corner design. We'll see how it does on the motocross track here in a second and get a bit of a better idea on that. But yeah, this is 11 laps in, and it's like insanity to say the least, so it's cool. But it wasn't doing nowhere near like this on that other arena cross track I was on, so it has to be somewhat like track specific to a certain degree here. It's got to be. Now, with the certain like sort of physics, ground physics system to the game, they would have to make just about Mount Everest sized braking bumps for it to really like add a whole lot of skill gap to it. You know, it ain't going to be braking bumps like in Reflex or MX Simulator or anything like that. You just know how easy the whoops are in general to hit in this game. So regardless of how much it's actually able to make the braking bumps, they're not really going to be that difficult at the end of the day. They're just not, but I would like to have them anyways, kind of what I'm getting at here. So, yeah, we're lap 13. Oh, my God. Now it's probably going to start going to more of a, I bet it starts kind of going through its little smooth out phase. either way, man, I'm not actually going to go in there and test this out on a motocross track in this video, or it'll be like an hour long. So I might do that in a separate video or something, but I feel like you got a pretty good idea on what it was doing just on that arena cross track there with the braking bumps and the kickers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's cool to see it, dude. I do think it's just like slowly but surely improving over time, and it'll be interesting to kind of see how it continues to progress in the game, and I think a lot of people will appreciate that it is actually being improved there. So, yeah, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.